Test. Yep. Yep. Alrighty, let me launch this up for you guys, and we will get into the stream here. It's been a little bit of time since I've last done a RTS League match, but I'm back. Got a nice little matchup here for you guys today, or tonight, as is the case for me. It is Frost A against AciD in the semifinals for the League Cup. So you might be asking, well, what in the world is the League Cup? Well, the League Cup is essentially a playoff bracket for the non-playoff teams. So kind of think of it as like the loser bracket playoffs, kind of. But these two teams that I've got today are probably the best two non-playoff teams, and in fact, if either one of them played probably a little bit better during the regular season, they could have made it, especially like Frost, who went 1-1 and picked a game off of a couple playoff teams, so they were right on the edge, just weren't quite consistent enough. So this is a best of 3. Each clan will have their own map that they can choose from. And let me just double check and make sure everything is working, and we will get on our way. Yep. Looks like it is, so we will pause that and maneuver back over to the game, and we will start. Oh, I think I need to put the standings and the scoreboard in the standings. There we go. Alright. Now we should be ready to go. Yep. Alrighty. Well, here we go. We will start in on a game 1 of Frost versus AciD. So these should be pretty close matchup here, I would think. Both clans pretty decent. I'd say, yeah, about the same, really. Hold on, I think my sound is a little bit low. And hopefully that has fixed it from being a little low. Anyway, we have what looks like to be Oasis. It sure is. It is the Oasis with the 2-pond variety. Oasis comes in 3 varieties. You've got the 1 big fat pond, you've got the 2-pond, and then you've got the 4-pond. Boink, 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 boink. Obviously, if you can count, we've got 2 ponds. And on the bottom right side is Frost, with Swoop as Oranos, Sir Eisenstange as Oranos, and Irin, who's also known as Icaro, as Hades. It really is a crappy map to choose Hades. I don't understand the Hades love, but whatever. Moving on to AciD. On the top left, we've got Nightkiller as Ra. The last time he played Ra on Oasis, it was a train wreck. It was awful, so maybe he'll do better this time. Middle is Odin King as Kronos, pretty decent Oasis map. And then the top is Loki, Weasel. Oasis 10, not the greatest amounts for Loki, I would say, because Loki relies on a lot of hunt. But we do have a 4 giraffe spawn, so 4 giraffe spawn is pretty decent, to be sure, for Oasis. Also have a nice relic, gives him increasing his villager hit points, and being Loki, should probably be the first one to grab that relic, so that'll help him. He should get plenty of goats to feast upon, so he'll be alright. He'll have a strong initial push, and then it'll probably kind of peter away a little bit as he runs out of natural food sources and has to switch over to hunt. But 4 giraffe, you can't complain about 4 giraffe on Oasis. It could be, I think, as low as 2 and a gazelle maybe. So this is pretty decent for Oasis. So the Ra player touched on it last time. Nightkiller's Ra the last time was pretty rough, like a dog. Rough, very rough. And I mean, let's also be honest. Ra is probably about the easiest god to play on Oasis. So, man, especially as a flank, that's like just generous. I mean, it's going to be so hard to put on decent pressure on him. So he should be able to two-town center fast heroic, do that pretty well, get a huge eco, and hey, what's up, Legendary Raider? Appreciate the compliment. So, should anticipate a two-town center fast heroic from this feller, and oh no, this is not good. So, he's sending all these vills here. You might say, well, what's the deal with, what's so bad about gathering hunt? The problem is he shouldn't get hunting dogs. I hope he hasn't. Instead, his goal should be to stay in the base and advance as quickly as possible without having any villager movement. So the problem is, by sending these villagers down here, he's already giving himself a handicap that he's going to advance to classical age too slow. Like, he should be advancing to classical age at about 510, getting a town center, and then farming right away and advancing 830 at the latest. By doing this, he's going to delay himself pretty heavily, and probably will not be hitting heroic if he even goes that route, which he should, until like 9 minutes or even later. And as we can see, Swoop is doing a very quick advance here, a 4-minute advance. So actually, if he puts on some pressure, oh, I see, sorry guys, I'm missing this, a little bit of a Chronos rush over here, and Swoopy is forced to help out over here, which is going to let Nightkiller do whatever the heck he wants. Needs to be a little bit smart with this. Okay, alright. Went the long way around to that tower, to be sure, but we're back in business here, and we have a little bit of assistance from Swoop, though to be honest, really Swoop shouldn't have helped out here. The Sentinel from his ally is enough to help out to prevent the Chronos Rush from really accomplishing much. Swoop's goal should be, and it looks like he is. Okay, so at least he's pumping out Terma up this way, so that's good. One thing to notice, and I see you've also put that into the chat, is that Nightkiller does not exactly have a back gold mine, but there is one here. But man, Nightkiller, when is he advancing? Holy crap! See, look at this. With a 630 advance, that is awful. So it looks like the bad Ra from last game is going to be a bad Ra from this game. Like 630 is terrible, horribly slow. See the Loki push up here with the hearse here. Bulmer, yeah, you can sleep. I mean, just be sure to watch the stream later. It'll be saved. So look, so he sent all these villagers up here to hunt, and now they're getting pushed back because, well, he's got some Terma there, which really he could have just fought these two Terma. I don't. But so this is, I mean, he'd still be able to grab a town center. That's great, but he's going to be way too slow. Because it kind of becomes like the block here. So he wants that relic. It is a really good relic, that villager hit point relic. And okay, yep. So I was about to say that Swoop should get a second town center now that he has slowed up Nightkiller. And Nightkiller is, well, grabbing a forward town center, which he hasn't scouted. He's looking for it right here, buddy. You'll get it. So the forward town center is probably a decent idea with the gold mine. However, I was kind of thinking that if I were in this situation here, I would have gone to back town center, and then when my initial gold mine ran out, I would have just used shifting sands and gone to a safe allied town gold mine like here. I think really that, I mean, you really don't need shifting sands much else for anything. So you don't really need that. Well, Iran should be, I see somebody saying that Swiss boy. This guy should be Icaro, not Swiss boy. I don't think it's Swiss unless they're there playing some games. And yeah, we see this is a nice little raid here. The Odin King is trying to build a town center, and he's being a little bit pestered here. It's going to slow him down, honestly. His Chronos Rush was pretty awful. Really, Chronos Rush on this map when you've got a Hades, kind of pointless, because any person you rush is just going to have Sentinel cast. But we've got Weasel trying to do some pressure here. As Loki versus our Hades, he should be able to do some push. Oh, this is actually Swiss Boy, not Swoop. This is the Swoop variation of it. Alright. Wow, this Ra is so terrible. Like, we haven't... It's 820 is just using rain. Like, he should almost be heroic right now if he would play this appropriately. So this isn't Swoop, this is Swiss. Alrighty. But yeah, this is I can't bear to watch it. And he can't even get this town center up. So this is looking pretty poor for AciD. Because it's kind of the thing that you do with Ra is, and he's making barracks units, this is terrible too. The thing that you do is Ra is a kind of a real slow early game, but once you reach kind of that crucial booming point, Ra goes from kind of not being able to do much to just being able to take over an entire game. But just so then the goal just is to get to that point as soon as possible, which means getting a second town center and aging up as quickly as possible. So what I kind of touched on it earlier, the problem with doing a forward town center is that when you're facing off against Aranos, you know he's going to get an early army. So taking an early forward town center almost forces you to start making barracks units, which is something you don't want to do. You want to be able to just transition straight to heroic age and build Migdal units without any problems. So I know we have a lack of gold mine here, but as I said earlier, he's not even empowering his gold mine. I like this. I do like the priest empowerment of the 3-man granary when you have a gold mine with 12 villagers right next to it, not to mention your town center. So this is really awesome. Yeah. I don't know why people that don't play Ra try to play Ra like this. It's just, he might as well have played his Norse, which he normally plays. So yeah, he's getting a very brisk 10:30 advance, which is about 2 minutes slower than what he should. And 2 minutes slow is pretty slow. So yeah, he's just gonna be way behind. Like, so good pressure here by Swoop. Really, he can just park here now, and that'll be fine. Just park, and we do have Erend as cast Restoration up here. But yeah, just park here, and we have Pestilence has been used on a very poor gold mine. About 5-6 villagers were even there to begin with. So he killed 3 villagers. That's a terrible use of Pestilence. And yes, see, now this town center is completely useless. He has no gold mine. If he's intelligent, he will just shift back here or even walk. I mean, it's not like it's terrible far distance to walk. But nope, it looks like he's going... Okay, so he's building a Migdal, which means he has absolutely no income right now. And he's not even going to get this built because of the Terma. So, Mr. Swiss, who is playing on a name that looks like Swoop's name, is putting on some good pressure, forcing 20 villagers to be idle, and he's going to kill this town center pretty shortly. And this is just the fact that Night Killer advanced way too slow. And he's building barracks units that are just going to get smoked. I mean, what's the point of this? Does he at least have Skin of the Rhino? He does at least have Skin of the Rhino. Alright, so yeah, he is forcing him to run. Alright, so you might actually just manage to save this, but at what cost? It is a great cost. And up here, Weasel's doing alright. Let's see how he's doing for eco. Well, he is up heroic, has a pretty decent army. Flaming weapons would do some work. Like he could almost flaming weapons this with a conjunctured attack from Odin King and do some damage. But he's very little resources. Alright, so he's coming. Looks like he will do flaming weapons here. Problem is it's going to be a 2-on-1, so he might not quite be able to push through without any help from Teal, who has his entire army chasing 7 Murmillo. Yeah, if I were him, I would stay back and not use flaming weapons. In fact, I would avoid this spot and just come through. Actually, I'd avoid attacking the Hades altogether and just come through the middle. I mean, when you got 2 Atlanteans that you can attack with low attack or low buildings, and Hades with the building upgrades based on his own power or his own special, you know, Hades gets additional hit points. I mean, you could just compare 3,500 to 2,100. That's a difference of 1,400 hit points. And he has used flaming weapons here. And down here, this is still just utter chaos. He's building Axemen against Termon. I don't like this flaming weapons. This is too defensible of a position. He might initially push through, but this is kind of Weasel's really only shot at good aggression. And by using his flaming weapons here just to kill one town center, maybe, he might not even do that. It's not worth it for one of the strongest god powers in the game to all it does is possibly kill one town center, which it doesn't even look like it's going to do. So I would not have attacked here, especially knowing their armies were here. Yeah, this is a bad attack. We're just shockwaving Shiro Ballista just because. So initially pushing, but this aggression probably won't last too much longer. I mean, Odin King's way behind because of that early push on his town center. And let's see how Nightkiller's doing. He's doing pretty poorly. He is defending this. Swoop was probably a little bit slow to get up, so yeah, this has been pushed off. This attack just tactically makes no sense to me, because Hades' main weakness is the fact that his units are slow. He focuses on archers, and Toxotes are very slow units. So his weakness in team games comes from the fact that he has a difficulty in helping defend when allies are attacked. I mean, he can defend himself because he's got all these extra building hit points. So if I were Acid, I would see, okay, the Hades is here. You've got two Atlantean players. Actually, they are both Aranos with infinitely weaker buildings. Why attack the Hades player, whose specialty is individual defense, and not go over and attack these players who won't be able to be defended by the Hades? So this is a pretty serious tactical error here. And then here, the problem here on this side is just Nightkiller playing awful, advancing terrible, having a terrible build order, and completely getting rolled over in what is probably, well, not even probably, what is Ra's best map, and he's making this look like it's Ra's worst map, which is pretty hard to do. Look at his eco, it's awful. His eco upgrades are terrible. He doesn't even have a market yet. He's just now deciding that maybe he should look for backed gold mines, which the closest one is here. If he's smart, he would just use shifting sands and shift to a gold mine. But he's going to try to build this one, which you'll build this Migdal here and it'll get destroyed as soon as it gets built because you can't defend this. And up on top, we see Acid getting pretty well handled up here. So this game is just about over because the Ra will not recover from this, and the Loki player, having used flaming weapons, that is his primary key to winning, and now having no other eco because as I mentioned, once the natural resources run out, the Loki player really hits neutral, and his natural resources have now run out, and he is hit neutral, and Odin King is way behind. So this game is about over. So yeah, you could have shifted sand. I mean, you don't even need to shift sands. I mean, just come through here. You get 2 walls. This will take like 15 seconds to get through. So this game's about over. Wow. I'm really glad he built this Migdal here. Yeah, so hopefully game 2 and hopefully there's a game 3 will be better. I mean, you can't really blame Weasel. This is a bad map for Loki. Just because once there's just no food, and Odin King just not a bad map for Kronos. He's just had a very ill-advised Kronos rush when the enemy has Hades, which means free defense from Sentinels, and then was just a little bit too slow to get his second town center, so his eco is way behind. It's pushing off. Satyrs are pretty good units yet, but this is never going to go anywhere down here. I like all these idle villagers, like he's just sitting here thinking, where am I going to get gold? I have no gold. I have 1 town center. The Atlantean is 4 town centers. So this is not going anywhere. I would say I think Swoop is probably Mythic Age. Oh no, I guess with the taking of the 4th town center, it really kind of hampers his Mythic Age. But when you're getting full pop, I mean, he's going to destroy this in just a minute. I mean, how often have you seen a Ra player in an essential 1-on-1 get decimated like this by Eranos on Oasis? This is, and you see the resignations, earthquake up here to destroy this. So wow, this was utter destruction, man. Just terrible, Ra. Just terrible. Yeah, like, Ra at this point, regardless of the map, should be first in resources gathered. No matter what. Like, Ra is easy mode. Age of Mythology easy mode. That's Ra. And here he is. So, that is game 1. And game 1 was not close between 2 teams that should be fairly close. So let me change scoreboard here. So just remember, this is a best of 3, so we could have another 2 games here. Just depends on who wins the next match. So I am going to get that next map loaded up real quick. Let me just get this to the oh, right here, that's what I'm looking for, to the intermission screen, and I will get this next game loaded up here. Give me a sec. And we are getting, dang it. Trying to find it downloaded. Alright, I have managed to find it. Hopefully. It is not a half wreck. Hey, what's up, Mr. Slayer Atlan? We are in just a brief intermission here while I get this game up. This game might have been a restored game based on the very small maps of rec size. So we will see what happens. This might be a short stream if this is not a full map or full game here. So we'll load it up and see what we got going on here. And we've got Watering Hole. Game 2. Watering Hole is probably AciD's home map. At least I hope last game wasn't AciD's home map, because that was pretty awful. And on the left we've got AciD, and they've gone triple Norse. Odin, or Odin King. We'll see if he's truly the king of Odin. We've got Weasel as Odin, and we've got Evil. They have replaced Nightkiller with Evil, which is probably a good choice, because Nightkiller was absolutely awful in that first game. So Odin, Thor, and on the right for Frost game, and oh, you need to change the overlay. Correct. Sorry about that. Thank you, thank you. I just checked to see if you guys are awake. So Watering Hole, we've got AciD on the left, as we can see here. Odin King Odin, bottom. He's the flank. Weasel is the pocket. Evil is the other flank. And on the right is Frost. Swoop is Kronos. Iron is Ra. And Ice and Stange is Eranos. So Eranos, Kronos, and Ra. And even though this guy's name is Swoop, this is actually Swiss, playing on a nick that he replicates like Swoop. So yes, I fixed it. At least I hope it's fixed. Is it fixed or not? Is it a black screen? Let me see. It is a black screen. Alright, now it is not a black screen. Holy cow. Well, thankfully we haven't missed anything, because I'm so good at this streaming, aren't I? Well, am I not? Is the correct language here. Alright, hunting dogs, hunting dogs, hunting dogs. So I understand this is a high hunt map, which makes it nice for Norse, but triple Norse is probably never a good idea. In fact, triple any culture is never a good idea, just because then you're basically have the same, all your players have the same weaknesses and same strengths. So it's always just better just to have varied civ choices. It gives you a little more flexibility. The Ra here should be doing kind of what should have been done last game, which is the Teuton Center Fast Heroic. Icaro is a little bit more of a competent Ra player than Nightkiller, or at least I hope he is. It would be hard not to be. And what kind of relic does he have here? Myth units more resistant to other myth units. No, triple Zeus. I'd say non-patch is pretty strong. On patch isn't the greatest. Like if there was triple Zeus versus like a double Zeus and another god, it would be better civ combination be the one with the other god. And yeah, judging on what's going on my end here, it looks like this is only a partial recorded game, so we might have to do what we did last time, which is kind of unfortunate, is load up the actual stream and just watch the stream and just commentate based on the stream. Ra is overpowered on Watering Hole. Ra is kind of overpowered in team games on any map, just mainly because the map size allows for a free Fast Heroic, and then the fact that it's a team game means that trade is spectacular. Oh, this Ra is going up fast. 410, 420 fist speed upgrade. That's pretty quick. I wonder what he is contemplating. Must be getting a really quick or either a shifting sand strategy or an aggressive shift. I'm not really sure the... Alright, there's a Chronos over here. So it looks like they're doing a Chronos rush. Wonder if they're going to do a Chronos rush and a villager. Nope, he's grabbing a town center. Just a little bit, this is a little too fast of an advance. Really about the best advance is the 4 minute and, well, about the 5 minute to classical is about the best choice for a raw advance. So we have Evil did have his temple deconstructed, was a little too late. They're also pointlessly attacking the watchtower. Should be getting those houses that are right next to the watchtower. In fact, now he's running away. Killing Norse houses earlier is a huge pain for the Norse player. Just a huge pain. Like, if you would have killed these two houses, there wouldn't be any military units getting produced from these barracks here. And, yeah. I don't know what's with the gung-ho Valkyrie here. Kinda died without reason. So now that the Valkyrie is dead, and yeah, this is a pretty decent result here for the Loki player. Or not the Loki, the Chrono. There isn't even a Loki player in the game, the Chronos player. And yep, basic 2 town center. Fast heroic king. Oh, the Valk almost died. So really all this does is, yeah, now we reached the end of the recorded game. That's kind of annoying, so I guess we're going to have to watch the stream of, so we're going to stream a stream, which is kind of annoying, but unfortunately, cannot download the restores of games, so we are going to have to watch a stream. That's always annoying. So let me load this stream up, and in fact I will change over to the stream, which will bring the embedded chat back. So let's put this so it's on top. Or no, we'll just keep it as the same. I don't need the embedded chat anymore, so let's see. I'm on RTS League. That's too bad. Kind of annoying. So hopefully there's a game 3 after this game 2 that we can switch to. Don't really need to see the game chat here. Alrighty. So
gonna be open.
Oh, be quiet, Blackadder. Okay, so we're gonna go up to this restoration. Restore this game. That has to do in the first game. Well, Wiz, so we had a talk earlier. Alrighty, so we are going to be back. Let me put this up. Now we aren't gonna have any music, it's just gonna be me talking. So is kind of how we discussed the last time that AciD played on Oasis, is that the Ra player was awful, and the Ra player in the form of Nightkiller was even worse this game. So AciD got completely dominated. It was just about the worst Ra I've seen in quite some time. It was terrible. And Odin Keen's complaining about lag. Apparently, so the game has been paused. This is always kind of annoying to watch. You want to get on Discord, Wiz? At least then we can have some sort of conversation to kind of keep this better than just us watching. Oh, we do have a flaming weapons. Or not flaming weapons. I see a fire, so I say flaming weapons. Forest fire. That kind of is pointless. I see a lot of players use these forest fires on unit battles, kind of a deal, when it really accomplishes nothing. Like, what's the point of setting that on fire? I mean, it's not like it. Even if you win, helps them win a battle there. Does the winning of the battle really matter? It just means they can just retreat. So looks like Evil's grabbing a second town center there. I am on Discord if you want to get on there, Mr. Wiz. Soup already has two, and Iran is the Ra. Of course, he has two town centers and should be up pretty soon, about a minute. Now we're at the 7-minute 30. He's got the game time right there, hard to see, so 7 minutes 30. And then Evil is really getting great. He's doing the double town center grab, and that is a late rain. Very, very late. Because it's so late, I'm gonna guess he's gonna have a later advance than what he should. He'll probably be about 9 minutes or so. And we'll see what's going on here. And just so it's just not me talking, I'm gonna throw on real quick. Oh, how about I stream this? So I'll just put on the Age of Mythology soundtrack. So at least we're listening to some Age of Mythology music while we are playing this game. And I'll just turn this down so it's kind of sweetly playing in the background. Nope, that's my Twitch. Let me get this back to full screen. What's my screen? I have a bad HDMI cord that I keep delaying on fixing, so like every so often it'll go just completely black for like 6 seconds. It's quite the army of Wolfsarks there raiding around. Not finding a whole lot there on the bottom side of the map. Ra is pretty tough. Nice little wall here that Iran went down to build, so that's pretty helpful. I'm gonna assume that this villager went down there to build a market eventually in age 3, because if he builds a market down at the bottom corner, way down here, you should be able to get a trade that goes all the way up. The only difficulty is that having a bunch of Norse players could kind of interfere with that pretty well. So might be safer just to go from his base to green space up on the top. But the Ra just has a huge... Ooh, okay, so he is trying to get this town center down. Ra just has such a huge snowball late game, so really the Norse players need to get in some really big doubles and triples early on. Which this is a little bit of a double here. Weasel's up, showing up with some raiding cavalry, but Yellow is also there, so good help by Yellow up here to really be in position to assist. Because they're pushing back, and Odin King kind of went all in on Ulf, so you can see he doesn't even have a second town center yet. So he's substantially behind as far as economy from everybody else. And just judging from what I've seen, it looks like the Norse players haven't done enough damage yet, because you get these Ra players, once he starts reaching that critical point, the Ra player can essentially just carry through and push through almost 2 people with just a little bit of help. Okay, and you see down at the bottom, like I said, he built a market way down there. He can go across the map and get huge, just huge amounts of gold from trade. Hope he doesn't trade with himself though, because then he doesn't get the team bonus from team trade. This is kind of, man, if I'm a lazy person when it comes to playing games. I like to play as lazy as possible. Even this is kind of like the lazy mode of streaming, because I don't even have to scroll. I can just kind of watch and see where they go. And yeah, we've got now we've got Weasel forward, kind of getting smacked there. Looks like Weasel with 4 town centers. Looks like he's probably trying to go with a pretty quick, Ragnarok, Fullville Ragnarok. Which, if he's able to run over a Atlantean player, isn't a bad idea. But we'll see. Hey, what's up, Tom? If you're wondering why I'm streaming a stream, it's because this game was restored, so I have to watch the stream in order to see what's going on. So hey, we got raw player building forward in the middle of the map. That's what the raw player should do. So he just makes a siege tower or 2, and that town center will go down. And it seems to me that you know what, I could probably X out of my AOM just in case there's some frame lag. So they're still trying to get this town center down, and it's just not working. So yeah, and just look at the difference. Look at the raw score right now, 2,700 compared to Odin King's 1,400. He's essentially doubled Odin King's score at the 13-minute mark, because he went full wolf raid and really didn't do anything. Like, he didn't damage his opponent. And we've got, that is a locust right there. That is a locust. We saw the locust last game effectively kill 3 villagers. That looked like it got about 1, 2. It looked like Blackadder's counting. It looked like about 10. Holy cow! That's Weasel just absolutely getting locusted. Which, if his goal is to do a pretty quick Ragnarok with a full boom Ragnarok, that's going to put a huge slowdown on it, because that's a ton of villagers to rebuild, and with wood villagers, so he won't be able to get many farms, so it's kind of screwed him. And now we've got the siege towers, the double siege tower forward. That's good, I like it. You can really get by with 1 Migdal and 2, and so now they have forced the Frost. Basically kind of is like in a situation like this, the Frost almost just becomes like a partial map ceasefire. And we've also we got Shockwave down here, and we have a Frost that was not needed down here. He could have waited to cast Frost there and just retreated to his base. But yeah, Odin King is way behind Eisenstein, who's at 4 town centers. And you got the raw player doing a massive boom. You do note, and well, maybe you do know, maybe you don't know, but I note that he's trading with himself. That's a huge problem. Trade routes are very simple, and you see he's already up mythic. But I'm sure he's way ahead of everybody just because that's raw in team games. But trade routes are very simple, and why in a team game you'd trade with yourself and not a teammate and miss out on that huge team bonus, I do not know. But he is, but it's not going to matter because he's way ahead, to the point where this should have been what the raw player was, situation the raw player was in last game, but because the raw player last game was just awful, the raw player was in last place at this point. So you see the raw doing a pretty heavy carry in the middle. I mean, just 3,700 compared to an Odin King's 2K. And if we scroll down, if Blackadder scrolls down to the bottom, he's going to see that Odin King has just a huge army sitting in his base. Not sure what he's planning to do, but I don't think he's going to last very long. Okay, now we go down there and see. Well, he's got enough of an army and a building block there that he might be able to kind of withstand for a decent amount of time. Frost Giants are pretty tough for Atlanteans to kill. So really, Eisenstein should just kind of avoid this part. And really, if I were him, I'd kind of join the middle, because he's got he's got him pushed back, and he'd be Ice Sustain should be able to do more damage attacking like the middle, and doing like a full-on triple and killing Weasel's second base up there. But because right now he's basically just kind of keeping Odin King busy, and when he has 1,000 score ahead, he should be able to do more than just keep Odin King busy. Yeah, we have full up camels, and yeah, it's not looking good at all for Acid. Triple Norse just is not a good idea. I mean, not that Norse isn't bad, just Triple Norse, just they all have the same weakness, and I wouldn't even say that Norse fare well against Aranos either. I mean, but especially Norse does not do well against Ra. Not well at all. And you see that the Ra player is just pushing through everything in the middle, getting a huge eco, gigantic. I wonder if he's empowering his market. That would be beneficial to know. He did go Tornado, which sure, it helped kill a town center. I really think in this situation it'd be better for him to go up with Osiris, because then he can get the crazy strong camels. Odin King went Kronos in the first game, and that was a complete train wreck. Like, it was awful. He got, I mean, it kind of was a snowball where he got caught early building his town center. Yeah, we got this town center going down. So really, Acid's only hope is like to have like a massive Ragnarok that rolls everything, but that's not going to happen because look at this. You know, they're not going to push through there. Well, the problem is they'll never push through. They push through a Ra in a team game. It's just not going to happen. And Evil has cast Flaming Weapons just to get through a forward base. Like, yo, he's going to go cast Flaming Weapons and maybe push through a bit of a forward base here. But he's not going to do anything beyond this. And Weasel's Ragnarok is so far behind, it's not going to do much either. Like, maybe this reg will do something good. It won't. It'll kill a town center, which, well, maybe that town center wasn't even swoops yet, or actually it's Swiss Boy. But it's just gonna push through that initial base and maybe do a little bit of damage in Swiss's base, Green's base, but the Ra player will be able to push, just be able to mass mercenary and help defend. So we do have the second, actually triple reg. 1, 2, 3 reg, so all in. And Odin King being on one town center for so long, I'm sure he hardly has anything to rag about. And yeah, they're trying to push through on this town center here, which isn't going to go very well. Yeah, triple Ragnarok is terrible. It's a terrible idea. Especially when Odin King probably has like 50 villagers when he casts Reg. Like, Odin Reg without Flaming Weapons just doesn't do too much. So sure, they got 2 Regs meeting up here, and they might kill this town center, they might not, but it's going to kill almost the entire Reg. And when you have 3 players who've Regged, who is the one that's going to kind of carry the team while the Norse players who Regged are kind of building back? There's nobody. So yeah, they can go all out in that town center and lose half of their Reg. And then that'll be it. That'll be the end. I like this though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towers, 3 fortresses, an upgraded wall behind it. Like, it's not going anywhere there. So yeah, you just got the 1 building upgrade. Nice to see the second one, but you just see the Reg is disappearing. There is no Reg anymore. Like, blue being Weasel is kind of trying to get through to the back. You can see him starting to try to push through on yellow, but red's got another wall there, And so this reg has been dealt with, and now they feel like it's a good idea to attack a town center with fully up towers, and that's not going to end well. And just the amount of units they're losing to kill a town center, it's just not worth it. Oh, nice try. But, I mean, what else are you going to do? Like, this is all that Frost had to do, is just get the middle and then just throw up a bunch of towers and fortresses at town centers, and how are the Norse players going to get through that if they go reg? And we have a vortex here just to finish off this little build on the trade route there. But yeah, so you see that sure, they've pushed through the middle there, but there's nothing coming beyond this reg. So it's just a temporary push that will quickly result in a loss. And a nice trader on a fire giant. Need some fanatics here though. Fanatics against myth units do very well. The Archists don't, because especially fire giants have high hit points, or high pierce armor. Yeah, high hit points, but high pierce armor. So they're doing a little bit of damage to Sir Ice and Stange, but I mean that's basically 2 regs, and yeah, now they're resigning. So that is a 2-0. Yeah, they should have been more aggressive. I don't know why they didn't do more doubles or triples. Like in this situation, what they should have done is forward build and tripled one of the Aranos players or Chronos players, because you have a raw pocket, you know he's going to be slow to health. So if they were to triple one of the Aranos players, or well, Aranos or Chronos, they probably would have been able to eliminate that player, and then they would have been doing a 2-on-3, and sure they'd be facing a huge raw, but 3-on-2 would give them time for at least somebody to get a massive reg and go through and destroy the other player. So kind of this Ulf raid nonsense just doesn't work well on a map that is this big. If they would have all forwarded up, I mean, forwarded on one of the players, it doesn't really matter. Then they probably would have been able to do something, but the issue here was that they just didn't do enough doubling or tripling, and they let themselves get so distracted by just a Chronos temple shift early on in the game that they had no aggression beyond that. And because they were all going for Ragnarok, they all just took town centers and then didn't have any early aggression. So that is a 2-0 there. And that is the series. So Frost will advance to the finals of the League Cup. So that is a 2-0. So that's kind of that. I don't think there's any other RTS League games for me to, no others. So we do have some RTS League coming up, I believe tomorrow. We have a semifinal of actually the actual playoffs. That is Tuesday, 1900 GMT. So that's actually, I guess, today at 1900 GMT. So that'll be a good match between UCA and .A. That'll be really good. I assume that'll be streamed on RTS League. So if you don't get a chance to watch that tomorrow at 19 GMT, I'm sure I'll be on tomorrow night or in the morning or whatever you want to call it, about this same time in 24 hours. Probably a little bit earlier actually, and I will be streaming this, same as I stream. This being, I'll be streaming this match. So if you can't make the game time then, I'd encourage you guys to kind of be looking for my stream maybe an hour or two earlier than this tomorrow, and I will stream, go through these maps here. This is a best of 5, so we'll at least get 3 games, and this should be a really good series, so I'm looking forward to it. The other series we got going on in the playoffs is we're looking for Keen and EOM to try playing. Which they are being incompetently scheduling. And then in the League Cup, which is again the losers bracket, we got a couple matches yet. RSA against .B are playing. Okay, looks like .B is advancing, and Frost B is probably going to beat ADO. Okay, for ADO and inactive. So Frost B will be playing .B, which should be a pretty good match. I imagine that'll probably be this weekend, and then the winner of that will play Frost A. So, but the main thing is 19 GMT, which again is 2 p.m. EST, as Mr. Crab pointed out in chat. If you're from the Americas, if you're not, then figure it out yourself. So that's probably going to be it for tonight. Looks like there's too much to do on the old Oobly right now, and I got some things I got to do. So I appreciate you guys tuning in, and apologize that second game was restored, so we couldn't actually watch the recorded game. But if you tune in tomorrow, should have a really good series for you guys. So I hope to see all you guys then, and appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. And I will catch all you guys later. And until tomorrow night, hope everything goes great for all of you, and I'll catch you guys later.